Hey, this is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you. And I just wanted to kind of explain to you about what criminogenics is. But the best way for me to teach you about criminogenic is by using an episode from an intervention show, just to explain all of the 7 domains in the criminogenic risk factors. So this guy Chin, who is, you can see right here, he was a drug dealer with substance abuse. A lot of people don't really account for people that sell drugs. And this show is a really good example of looking at the criminogenic factors that normally plague people that sell drugs. I'm going to show you the dynamics of what it really looks like to get out of the criminal mindset or to get out of the maladaptive behaviors that come with selling drugs. When you look at the criminogenic risk factors, there's 7 domains that we want to make sure that...
More cocaine than anybody in Nashville. I was living a double life. I always went to church with a loaded 9mm pistol. I kept saying, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna take this money and live happily ever after. But it didn't happen like that. I grew up in a loving home, but we were always broke, always a day late, a dollar short, and the only person that I really saw prospering was the drug dealer. And I'd always think about, if I met this drug lord, then he could give me these keys of cocaine and I could sell it and make all this money. Well, I met this guy, and he had more cocaine than the city could handle. And then I grew up in the hood, so I knew every major drug dealer, so I had the supply and I had the demand, which makes a perfect storm.
It was a perfect storm.
A kilogram of cocaine cost about $17,000, but in Nashville, Tennessee, it was $28,000 for 1 kilo.
Hold on.
So
he was making
$11,000.
He was buying them for 17, selling them for 28. He had to grow up in the 90s.
I'd say I was bringing in probably, $500,000 a week. So I would always rent a hotel room because I didn't want my parents to come in the room and see all of this money. I was living a double life. At that time, I was in college on the dean's list, and I always worked. I went to barber school, and I cut hair all through college, and I always went to church.
He done got touched by T.D. Jakes
with a loaded 9mm pistol behind my back, and the little old ladies would still give me a kiss.
Hold up. Now, he carrying guns?
And I would even pray.
They all do that.
I need to
They all pray. I think that's some of that T.D. Jakes in it.
The thing about selling cocaine and making that money, it becomes an
definitely
addiction.
Is an addiction.
I kept
That's
saying,
the reason why it's criminogenic.
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna take this money and start my business and live happily ever after. But it didn't happen like that.
It don't work like that. You gotta go out one way or another, either jail, dead, or in the hospital.
Tennessee State University taking my midterm exam, and my beeper kept going off. And so
beeper, he was definitely selling in the 80s, late 80s, 90s.
And I went outside and got on my phone and called, and my sister told me that they got busted. The driver and another guy, he was speeding down the road, and the helicopter was chasing him. The car pulls up in an apartment complex where my sister lived. So she's witnessing what's happening, and then she hears all of these sirens and helicopters, and she looks down there, and the guys get out of the car and start running. And I'm calling my mom, and she said, well, Chin, you need to turn yourself in. When I turned myself in, the judge really didn't even believe it was me, because I looked like this little kid. And I knew that they was probably gonna give me a life sentence because I knew the amount of cocaine, what it was. That was the largest amount ever in Nashville at the time. Well, I told God to give me 10 years. And the judge, he said, you know what? I'm gonna give you that boot camp. The boot camp.
Boot
It
camp.
was in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
Nobody doing no boot camp.
Boot camp.
Let me tell you about boot camps. Nobody's doing boot camps. That is the worst thing ever.
It was for white collar criminals. I was there for 6.5
Music change
months.
again.
And we worked
Let's see what
17 hours
happens.
a day, hard labor. Every day we worked in the fields, planting and working on a farm. From the day that I hit there, their goal was to break me. Now that boot camp, I was there with white collar criminals, guys that graduated from probably Harvard, Yale, Princeton. They worked on Wall Street, some of the brightest minds in the world. So when I came home November 15, 1995, my mindset had totally shifted. I got out, no job, no driver's license, no credit, no money. But you know what? I had $1 million mindset.
See, he didn't need all of that. All he needed was a different way of
saved my money,
thinking. Once he has a
lived on
different
my
way
means.
of
I'm cutting
thinking,
hair at the halfway
that's all
house.
that he needs.
And then I started cutting hair at a barbershop. I ended up buying a barbershop. Barbering changed my life. Had it not been for my barber license, they would have sent me back to prison. So I still had this goal to open up a barber styling school. Opening this barber school
Good
was more
idea.
than just money. It was a way to give back, a way to pull someone else up and transform their life.
When I was around 20 years of age, I committed an armed robbery, and it resulted into incarceration.
All
During
right,
that time,
now
I was
hold
actually able
on.
to find
This
myself
little
and
John
true
B.
gift. Came upon
slash
cutting hair, and I felt
Malibu
like when I cut hair, I
Most
was free.
Wanted.
I wasn't locked up.
Watch
anymore.
him.
And I told myself when I get out, that's what I want to do.
He came to the school and he was very gifted. I mean, this guy could do every design, every haircut. He could do everything. All he needed was a license.
Chin blessed me with an opportunity I didn't think I would get. I didn't think anybody would understand my situation.
All right, stop,
especially
stop.
in America.
Now, why
So,
did he need to
being Chin
flip
and being
the
involved
scissors?
in school
That's
was
just
really a life
that did
changer.
not need to be in there. But I feel,
The best
hey,
part has
he still got
been
some criminogenic
seeing
risk
them able
factors.
to earn an honest living, being able to buy a home, have their own business, having a sense of pride and ownership. So it's nothing greater than empowering somebody mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. There are barbers all over who graduated from the school, and now they're not selling cocaine, they're not robbing, killing, stealing, because they have a barber license. That's all I needed was a second chance. Sometimes all we need is one more chance, another opportunity.
The criminogenic risk factors are always in place, but once you reduce the criminogenic risk factors, as you can see in Chin, is that all he needed to do was get that second chance. Going to a boot camp has nothing to do with criminogenic risk factors. Yeah, it gets them away. Yes, it separates them from some of their peers, but the main thing that he needed was the therapeutic intervention that worked on his criminal thinking, some of his peer associations. He had a really good support system with his parents because he said he didn't want to go home and show them the money. He only had really one arrest, so he didn't have a history of criminal behavior, and there was no signs of substance abuse that was really spoken. He probably did a little bit here and there, but it wasn't to the point where it raised his criminogenic risk factors. So if you watch this show and you notice that some of the criminogenic risk factors are in your life, contact me. Watch more, because I got more coming for you. There's a lot more, all right? Good to see you. It's the Cadillac Counselor. Thank you for watching.